Everyone relax. The Reverse Flash is back. Hey everybody, this is David, and today I am going to be talking about The Flash Season 2, Episode 11, The Reverse Flash Returns. And as you can guess by the title, yes, The Reverse Flash returns. The Flash's number one nemesis. He's like what the Joker is to Batman or what Lex Luthor is to Superman. That's what the Reverse Flash is to the Flash. I mean, it makes sense, right? So this episode starts with, obviously it continues where the last episode ended with the Reverse Flash now in this timeline. How is he in this timeline? Well, apparently after Eddie killed himself and all that, the Reverse Flash was somewhere in the Speed Force. Who knows how the hell that thing works. And he ended up in this time period where he learns about Star Labs and the Flash and Cisco and Harrison Wells, etc. And this is where things get interesting, I guess. This is sort of like the Reverse Flash's origin story, sort of speak. And we even get a little bit more of information on Eobard Thawne and why he wanted to kill Barry, that wants to get revenge on Barry. And I think it gave us a lot more insight into the whole Reverse Flash angle, because they didn't really answer every question. Because I remember Barry asking in the season finale of season 1 all these questions, and he kind of went over it. He said, don't worry about all that, doesn't matter now. This is the episode where we learn more about it, more details about it, and I was really satisfied. From what I've read, I mean, this is what the comic book origin of the Flash is. He is obsessed with the Flash, and he at first started off as a fan of the Flash, then he wanted to be like the Flash, and then he grew angry because he realized he could never be the Flash. And that's why he had all this anger for him. He's practically an obsessed fanboy. And it's kind of weird because there are some crazy fans out there of, celebrities. And that's what this is kind of, resembling in some aspect, except he's taking it way too far. So we get a lot of great moments with Cisco and Harrison Wells. I'm loving their interaction, Cisco's interaction with this Harrison Wells. I love their interaction last season with the other Harrison Wells, who was really Eobard Thawne. They didn't really explain why they kept referring to the old Reverse Flash as Harrison Wells still. I think it's just to make it easier on the audience, because maybe the audience, they're worried that the audience won't follow. So maybe just to call the Reverse Flash from last season Dr. Harrison Wells makes it easier that way. But whatever. I think we get it. We get the gist of it. But yeah, I'm really loving the interaction with Cisco and Harrison Wells this season. This new Harrison Wells, and whatever this Harrison Wells is doing, he's teaching Cisco some good tricks, and even made him a pair of goggles so he can shades, so he can search vibe better, right? And there was a part towards the end where Cisco starts disappearing after they capture the Reverse Flash, and like, what the heck's going on? And this is an after effect of keeping the Reverse Flash here as a prisoner. And so they realize that they have to eventually let Reverse Flash go. And that kind of raised a couple of questions for me, because why was Cisco being affected and no one else was being affected? I know they explained it earlier, why the Reverse Flash was still around and all that. But why was only Cisco being affected because of this and no one else? That's what had me a little bit curious and kind of annoyed that they didn't answer that. Or maybe they did and I just missed it. If anybody can clarify that for me, I would really appreciate it. But I didn't catch anything why it was only hurting Cisco and nobody else. So we also got to see Jay's doppelganger in Earth 1. Jay Garrick, he's from Earth 2, and everybody is supposed to have a doppelganger. So Jay's been looking for his doppelganger all this time. That's good to know, because I've been wondering, like, what the heck's Jay doing all this time when especially when he's not on an episode, like, what's he doing for most of his time? Where does he sleep? Where does he? So he's been stalking himself, and himself on Earth 1 has a different name, whose name escapes me right now. Don't ask me to remember it. And so it's kind of interesting knowing that, okay, so this Jay has a different background and a different name and all that. We kind of knew something like that would happen, but I wasn't expecting, like, the name to be different also. So maybe, like, maybe that explains a little bit why we haven't heard anything about Barry from Earth 2, because maybe his name is different in that universe, And that kind of maybe opens up the door to a possibility of maybe, I don't know, Henry's dad in Earth 2 or maybe even 3 being named Barry Allen. Who knows? Maybe there is a possible crossover with that idea that maybe different names can happen in different Earths. And so maybe, I don't know, maybe a 90s Flash crossover with this new Flash, maybe that's possible. It just crossed my mind right now as I'm putting this video together, so we'll leave it at that. I really had a lot of fun with this episode. This was a great episode. I actually wish this episode aired last week instead of this week, because this would have been a great episode to start with. I wish the last week's episode would have aired. I wouldn't have even wanted it for the finale, the mid-season finale. But whatever, we got what we got, and it paid off for this episode because I had a great time. I think this might be my favorite episode of the season, right, with the crossover with Arrow. So yeah, I really enjoy it. I think it was great seeing Reverse Flash back, and I'm really hoping we see him again. That little line at the end there before Reverse Flash left, he told him something like, we'll be meeting again soon, Barry. And, Flash is like, I'm counting on it, and I'll be there to stop you. So that was kind of, maybe we'll be getting to see him again, maybe even very soon, who knows. I'm very excited about that, because I think the Reverse Flash is a great villain. I think it's like doing Arrow without Malcolm Merlyn. Malcolm is such a great villain on Arrow that I think you need a great villain. Don't kill off this villain. This is a villain that you need to keep and bring back once in a while, especially if the current villain isn't doing that great. But thankfully for the Flash, Zoom is an awesome villain, and next week's episode looks really cool. I'm giving this episode a 9 out of 10, really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for next week. Next week looks like it's going to be insane with the Zoom now there, so I'm going to end it here, and that's it. So guys, comment below. Tell me what you thought of the episode. Tell me your theories. Tell me anything that I might have missed out or made a mistake on. I know I'm always messing up on some things, or I'm always forgetting something. That's why I should be taking more notes during these episodes, but whatever. And subscribe to my channel if you are a huge fan of The Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow, because I review all of them. Follow me on Twitter at iCrazyDavy, because I sometimes live tweet. I was live tweeting tonight. So I talk about other things like movies and some of my other favorite shows. And until then, take care.